Joining us on GPTV is winning trainer of the Navy Cup, Steve Reid, trainer of Lover's Delight. Steve, excellent resumption from the horse, and should be all systems go now for the Summer Carnival?
Hopefully that'll improve his ranking enough to get a start in the series. I think he was about 40th before tonight, so hopefully that'll bump him up into the top 30, and we've got a horse that can compete into the Dominion. It's fantastic.
Excellent. Mate, if we could just backtrack a little bit, viewers might recall that he was certainly one of the better 3 and 4 year olds here earlier in his career. How did you come about getting the horse off the pollies? Was there a previous relationship, or how did that come about?
I had a horse for them, a baby they bought across, and so there was a previous connection there. And he's been a horse that suffered from leg injuries throughout his career. He's been dogged by him, back legs and front legs, and I got him based on trying to rehabilitate him and trying to help him through, and probably my training helps him, keeping him off the hard tracks. So he's the type of horse you've got to manage quite a bit, try and look after him, and it's working so far so good, but with that history there, he's sort of a race-to-race proposition.
With that in mind, you'd have had him a lot more forward, I guess, tonight than a normal horse resuming. Would that be right?
Probably the opposite, actually. It's his first up. He had a bit of a setback before his last run, which I didn't know about. He had some issues with his feet, and I've spent some time getting him over that. He's had a couple of softish trials, and I was sort of hoping tonight to send him around to get some fitness in his legs. By the same token, keeping in mind he needed to put forward some good runs to lift his ranking, but when he drew the one, the pressure went on, and I had to try and tighten the screws for tonight in a short period of time. And the way the race panned out, he really had to win. Like, the time they've gone is what you'd expect in a pathway, you know, so you can't get carried away with the win. He's really going to have to lift on that run to be any sort of chance of making into the Dominion final, you know, but it's a starting point, and hopefully he'll get a few more runs under his belt before the series starts, and you'll see the best of him after a few more starts.
He's a horse that's got good gate speed, and he's reasonably tough as well. What do you see as his best asset?
I'd say his toughness. In his trial last Wednesday when Smokey the Bandit beat him, we just rolled around steady and really zipped home, and they ran home in 26 something, and Smokey went straight past him. Smokey's really, really quick, and I feel like if the race can be run so that if my bloke's out in front and he has to run home quicker than sort of 27 and a half, he probably struggle. Horses zipping him for speed, but by the same token, if he's allowed to roll along and put some speed into the race and take that zip out of some of those sprinters, that brings him right up to it. So I feel his best asset's probably his staying capabilities.
With the problems you had with him, are you looking at spacing his runs now through until the feature races, or will we see him back up again next week, for argument's sake?
It probably depends on what the conditions of the race are and what the race is. If it's a feature race and it's, as you expect, random draw, then we'll probably have a crack at it. If it's just a normal standard race and it's preferential dollars, after tonight he's going to draw bad, we may look at giving him a miss. I'd like to space his runs anyway, so if he probably ideally look at racing him fortnightly.
In the back of the mind, I guess you've got his ranking to sort of look after as well. Where he sits at the moment, do you feel as though he needs to win another feature race, or you think with natural attrition he might just find his way in there if he holds his form?
I think with natural attrition, at the moment he's 40th. I think the top 30 get in. With tonight's win, it might bump him up close to the 30th, and there'll be quite a few from New Zealand and eastern states that don't come, and there's a lot of them ranked above us. So hopefully, if 5 to 10 of them don't come, that should lift us up in the top 30. But we've got to take the races before then as they come, because realistically, he's off the likes of those really top horses. And if there's a feature race to win between now and them, and Bow Tide, Chris and me aren't going to be there, then we may as well have a crack at it.
Certainly. All right. Well, thanks for joining us tonight, Steve, and all the best with Lover's Delight and the rest of his preparation.